Betsy Berry, who is our current governor. Michael Soden is our governor nominee, which means he will be governor in 23.
Mary, how do I get on this? This is what this is terrible.
Okay. Larry Skaggs from Las Vegas, Green Valley. Past Assistant Governor Jerry Tamby. Margaret Cooker from Victorville. Steve Garrett from Glendora. Regatta Corey from Apple Valley. Greg Jones, who was our governor last year from Pasadena, a small Pasadena club that meets
after hours.
After hours. And Greg is now moved out of state, but we're very happy to have him with us today. Is there anyone that I've missed? I've had people come off and on. Tom Novotny, past district governor and our current district administrator. Now, we're here to announce and celebrate that one of your very own, Michael Driegy, is nominated as our governor designate to serve as governor in 2024-25. This time, I'd like to call on current governor Elizabeth Betsy Berry for a couple of comments. Betsy?
Hello. I got muted and I unmuted myself, but
Okay.
Michael, on behalf of the whole governor line, we welcome you to our family. We know the district will be in fabulous hands with you. You've got wonderful experience, and we know that your heart is in Rotary, and then your heart is also into making District 5300 the best district in all of the world. We just love having you on our team, and we look forward to working with you. And as all of us, we always say, if there's anything you ever need from any of us, advice, commiserating, whatever it is, we are always here for you, and we've got your back, and we will be here to support you. And once again, we are just so elated to have you come on board as our upcoming district governor in 3 years. So it's going to be a fun ride. Brace yourself. And you know, it's going to be the ride of a lifetime. People told me, all the governors said this is going to be life-changing for you, and I thought, you know what I'm talking about. But it is true, and you meet the depth of your friendships and the people you're able to connect with. It's absolutely amazing. And then when you go on your visits and meet the club members, you know, your Rotary spirit just swells, and you're just so excited. And so we welcome you. Very welcome, Mike.
Thank you, Betsy. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Betsy. Michael Soden, do you have anything that you'd like to share with Michael?
Well, I know this is supposed to be the words of wisdom, Michael, but I'm very happy to have you. And obviously, I've not been a governor yet, but I'm in that training process. And I think my first realization of how big Betsy is making is that when you start meeting your classmates, and that you have that, you really do create this bond between us. And I kind of, like Betsy did, oh, big deal. And then since we were able to meet at Nats, we really started to meet each other. But I'm really more excited about the fact we're now starting an archangel line of governors, because not only we have Michael, me, we have Michael, you, and both of our wives are named Sylvia. So that's about all I got to say. So again, congratulations.
Thanks, Michael.
Thank you. Tom Novotny.
Well, I just want to congratulate Mike, and I've been working on Mike since we both had darker hair and more of it. Mike, you're in for, like Betsy said, the ride of your life. You'll meet people that you didn't think you'd ever run across. You'll discover things that you didn't know existed. And we already had the discussion where you get the phone call and you go, what did I get myself in for? but it's worth every minute of it. So congratulations, Mike. Look forward to working with you. And there's not a district governor, past district governor that won't help you if the need be. So just ask. Thanks.
I appreciate that, Tom. Thank you.
And now Sylvia Whitlock. Sylvia is our trailblazer. First woman in Rotary, first woman governor. And
Mike,
so
I feel as
Sylvia-
if, Mike, I feel as if I know you really well from working on the peace conference with you year after year after year. You do such a great job. This morning, Jennifer, who is our first woman president coming in, announced the theme, and she said, the theme is Imagine Rotary. What I want you to remember is that you can grow those acorns of imagination into the huge oaks of Rotary. Go for it.
Wow.
Thank you,
Very
Sylvia.
nice.
John Chase. John, are you there? I saw him log in. We'll come back to John. Larry Skaggs. Larry.
Michael, good to see you again. You were very instrumental in some of my stuff as far as being MC for training sessions and district conferences and stuff like that. So you've taken another step up. I don't want to echo exactly what Tom said or Betsy said, but it was described to me like you're on a roller coaster and you're going to have some ups, you're going to have some downs. Sometimes it's going to seem like things are going pretty slow, and other times it's going to rush by so fast that it'll be nothing but a blur. So grab a hold of the bar, hang on tight, and you're in for the ride of your life. Enjoy, and anything that we can do to help you, we're here for you. Congratulations.
Thank you, Larry. I appreciate it. It's good to see you too, buddy.
Jerry Tandy. Jerry, you there?
Yep, I'm here.
Okay.
Mike, I think I speak for most of the past district governors when I say that we're here as a source of information for you. Not all of our information and opinions are going to be correct, but it will be more information for you to use to be a better governor than we were, and that's the point. We all want you to be better than we were when we were governor. Congratulations.
Thanks, Jerry. I look forward to working with you too. It's been a long ride for the two of us, Bell.
Yeah.
Since Ryla back when dinosaurs roamed the earth, right?
Something like that, yeah. Welcome aboard.
Margaret. Margaret?
Hey there, Mike, congratulations. I'm looking forward so much to seeing a really successful year for you and to be there whenever you need me. Just give me a call or a holler. Might get over the mountain sometime. And hopefully I'll see you in Singapore and Calgary, all being well and the creeks don't rise. And remember, hang on to the thought that PDG goes after your name once you survive.
I hear it's the best job in Rotary, Margaret. Thank you.
Barbara.
Hey, Mike. Yeah, someday you're going to love being in the tarnished brass. It's a lot of fun. Oops, sorry. We go back a long way too. And I really have to say, what took you so long? It's been a long time coming, but I am so excited for you. And just like everybody said, we're all here for you. When you ask, we don't want to give you our opinions unless asked. So good luck to you. And when I heard the news from Lou, I was ecstatic. So I'm so happy for you. Thank you.
Thanks.
Good luck.
Thank you so much.
Steve Garrett.
Mike, the beginning of District 5300, 70 some years ago, the first district governor for this district was Ed Norwood from San Marino. So you're number 5 from San Marino. And San Marino, that's every 15 years. We've been due. I'm glad you came in. You are going to be certainly the best district governor in this district, and that makes you the best one from San Marino. So congratulations. Good luck to you. I think you're going to be great.
Thanks, Steve. And for those of you who may not know, Steve has been after me to take this step for a long, long time.
All right.
So it was with Steve's voice ringing in my ears that I submitted my application. So thank you, Steve. I appreciate the vote of confidence.
Miles
All right.
Petroff.
You know, Mike, congratulations. I mean, I've been personally working with you and with us, you know, for the district conference, being the MC, the Rose Parade at times. We had the Garvis Peace Institute, and I've always thought you should have been district governor 15 years ago. Now we do have a problem in our district when we get back to being normal. Is I don't know who you're going to find to be an MC during all our district conferences.
All right.
Because, you know, we've always called on you and it was always so professional. And I've always respect and looked up to you because you were so excellent. Now I'm glad to see you're going to be the district governor in a couple of years. This will be great. So no advice because we're all there for you. And you're the one who always gave us advice. So congratulations.
Thanks, Miles. I appreciate that very much.
Regatta Curry. Regatta's still there?
So yes, I'm still here. Mike, all I can say is congratulations to you. I met you when you were RILA chair, I believe it was 2004, and I always thought you should have been governor way before me. I think you are going to be a wonderful governor. You have what it takes. And as I mentioned to you the other day, is I'm only a phone call away whenever you need help. And as Larry said, you know, it does go by pretty quickly. Enjoy the good and the rough times that come along, because you will reflect on those and realize how quick the term of governor does go by. So enjoy every bit of it. I wish you nothing but the best. You are going to make a fantastic governor, and I look forward to just being there, even just to support you in any way that I can.
Thanks, Regatta. From your lips to God's ears.
Greg Jones.
Well, congratulations, Michael. So happy to see that you've stepped up here and are going to be our district governor. For so many years, you've really been the face of the District 5300. And so now it's great that you'll be in that leadership role. And the thing that strikes me as I listen to all these comments is I'm not sure there's anyone else in the district that so many of the past district governors have relied on for advice and help. And I know when I was district governor, whenever I would call you, you were always there to say, yes, I'll help with that, or yes, here's some advice I'll give you. So I just, I hope that you reciprocate now and you ask all these past district governors to help you. And I'm sure all will be willing to step up for what I would think all of us consider a good friend and fellow Rotarian. So congratulations so much.
Many thanks, Greg.
I just want to note that John Chase is in a meeting and he sent us a message, so you can look at the message. I just wanted to say, Mike, congratulations. And please know that you can call on us, call on me for advice, support, guidance, whatever, you know, help at any time. And we really look forward to your governorship. I can say this because as chairman of the committee, I called everybody. And one of the things that I found out is there was great enthusiasm for your selection. There was no question that everybody is behind you 100%. We're all here to help you and support you, and we look forward to the positive leadership that you will give us as a governor. And Gilda said that there was a ceremony. We haven't really established a ceremony other than this informal thing that we have, but we know, because you filled that out on your application, that you will do everything that's required as governor. And so we welcome you to the governor's line and past district governors, everybody who's been governor. And look forward to everything to come.
Luciano?
Yes.
Roger.
Oh, Roger, I'm sorry. I missed you. I didn't have
You
you
missed
down.
me. You have,
Please, Roger. Go ahead.
yeah, you have to give me at least a minute.
Oh, yeah.
Paulette and I congratulate you, Michael. One thing we know, you don't need any advice. You have been so involved in the district. You have insights that most of us, when we took on the role, did not have. We know you will do an outstanding job. And we all say we're going to be there for you, but I would suggest you also reach out to the current presidents of the clubs and other people, because knowing you will have big designs for your year in terms of how to improve the district, how to grow the district, how to help clubs serve humanity. And your personality, your demeanor, your ability to communicate is going to just make your year a wonderful year. We congratulate you. Thank you, Lou.
Thanks, Roger.
And thank you,
And,
Lou, for your comments too, buddy.
Yeah, is there anybody else that we might have missed? I don't see the full screen, so I don't know if anybody came in late.
Well,
No?
Randy's still here and he wasn't late.
Okay, Randy, go ahead. I wasn't trying to avoid you.
Yeah, as is everybody else on the screen and the call. Michael, you were wonderful with the foundation during the 15-16 Rotary year and extremely beneficial to every Rotarian that belongs in District 5300. I will make only 2 suggestions. Michael, it's not your year. It's the Rotary 24-25 year. It's one of the most difficult things to do, but it is not your year. Okay? And I will also tell you, I will answer your phone calls. I will answer your emails. I will answer your texts. But unless you want to talk to me, you'll never hear from me during that year unless you pull off a triple somersault in the air. Be a sponge through every bit of training. And once again, as I said, don't hesitate to reach out to this group of incredible individuals, and congratulations.
Thank you very much, Randy.
Okay, is there anyone else that we may have missed?
Lou, John Chase is on. I know you called on him earlier.
Yeah, he was on, but he was in the middle of a meeting. He sent us. But is he available now?
I'm not sure.
No, I think he sent
Jerry
a message
Tamby.
in the chat. No, Jerry spoke.
Jerry spoke.
Okay, and for the those folks who are not the group that we talked about, we're talking about the governorship of District 5300. And District 5300 covers Lancaster, Palmdale, the High Desert, and the San Gabriel Valley up to the 15, Las Vegas, and Southern Nevada, north of Las Vegas to the Utah border. So it's a big district and a big responsibility. And we're very happy to have Michael as a future governor. Thank you, Mike.
And if I may, everybody, I just want to say thank you so much for your kind words, your offers of help, but especially your votes of confidence. I hope, all I can say is I hope I prove worthy of that confidence and that enthusiasm, and have no doubt I will be reaching out to you for help. I'm sure I'll need plenty of it, and not just the tarnished brass that are on the line, but I warned my fellow San Marino Rotarians that I'd be reaching out to them as well. So I'm excited, a little nervous, but I'm looking forward to the great adventure.
Great.
Thank you. Thank you. I have to say, Mike, we talked of a lot of things so far, but one little thing will be with you during your tenure. Your club will be behind you. Your club will be ready to help you in whatever enterprise or initiative you want to move on. So don't forget us. We will be one club among many. We recognize that, but we'll be with you. Thank you very much again, Mike. And I want to say thank you to the Not So Tarnished Brass who gathered with us today. It was a very, very moving moment for me to see all of you coming together and sharing your thoughts. So thank you very much. Now we are going to move on in this meeting. I'm going to hand over to, we're going to hear about our school in San Marino, and I'm going to hand over to Rob to take over and introduce our speaker. Rob?
Yes, thank you, JP, and congratulations, Mike. We are behind you 100%.
Thanks, buddy.
Today our program is the state of the schools here in San Marino, and I have the pleasure of introducing our first speaker. And I'd like to introduce Nam Jack. Nam was first elected to the San Marino School Board in 2009 and re-elected 4 years later. She served 3 one-year terms as board president. The San Marino Unified School District bestowed upon Nam one of the highest honors that can be given to volunteers in the field of education, as she received the Golden Apple Award. The Golden Apple Award is sponsored by the Association of California School Administrators. Nam and her husband, Mike, reside in San Marino. They have 2 children, Drew and Devin, both of whom graduated from San Marino High School. Rotarians and guests, I present Nam Jack.
Thank you so much, Rob, and thank you to Rotary for inviting us today. Years ago, I was privileged enough to speak to Rotary about my father, who put his country above all else, and who I believe exemplified what I so admire about Rotary, which is service above self. Today, Superintendent Delatorre and I are honored to provide you an update, our mid-year report on excellence in education. First, a little background. I was a former teacher and attorney. I am a product of a mishmash of different education: parochial, Christian missionary, public, and private non-denominational, spanning 4 different countries. Based on these experiences, when my husband and I had children, we did a lot of research trying to determine where to live, with education being of paramount importance. We decided to move here 23 years ago and have never regretted it for one moment. I believe parenthood changes everything, and parenthood changes with each child. Our ideas of activities differ with each one. When you have your first baby, you take your infant to all kinds of classes: baby gymnastics, baby storytelling, parent-baby classes. With your second baby, you take your infant to baby story hour. With your third baby, you take your infant to the supermarket. Our ideas of going out change with each child. With your first baby, you leave your infant with the sitter you call home 5 times at least. With your second baby, just before you walk out the door, you remember to give your cell phone number to the babysitter. With your third baby, you leave instructions with the sitter to only call you if she sees blood. As parents, we develop our own set of definitions for certain words. Amnesia. Amnesia is a condition that enables one to go through labor so you can have more children. Family planning is defined as the art of spacing your children the proper distance apart to keep you from financial disaster. But seriously, in these times, I would like to paraphrase CSBA President, Mrs. Susan Heredia. Back to school is always a major undertaking, but this year's version has been especially momentous, as California schools are open for full-time in-person instruction. While that is a cause for relief in many respects, it has brought governance teams trying to navigate the ongoing pandemic, safety concerns for students, complications of the new independent study, and strategies to unlock learning recovery has been difficult. These unprecedented times has again illustrated why San Marino is so special. We have been able to weather the storm because we live in this community. First slide, please. I would like to begin by introducing the current Board of Education. I am the president for the current term. Mrs. Jane Chan is the vice president. Mr. C. Joseph Chang is the clerk. Mrs. Ryan and Mr. Michael Kalaki are board members. I would like to thank and commend each of them. They have brought their own perspectives and experiences to the school board. But especially during these uncertain times, we, the school district and school board, have been extremely fortunate to have Mr. C. Joseph Chang, with his long-standing health expertise and background, for his invaluable help and concrete solutions in helping the schools deal with COVID. Next slide, please. This is the SMUSD strategic plan. The school board and administration are guided by this plan, which is comprised of our vision, our mission, our goals and objectives, our cornerstones for success, and what we hope our graduates to be. Our vision is to deliver a world-class education with excellence in academics, arts, and education. Our mission is to deliver supportive and innovative opportunities for student learning and excellence, collaboration and discovery, challenging them to take responsibilities as members of this global community. Next slide, please. In July of 2021, our school board and cabinet held our annual board retreat where we determined what our goals would be for this year. We determined 4 of them: working to support the social and emotional well-being of our students and staff, effectively assessing and addressing learning regression and variability, providing comprehensive professional development for our staff, and working toward a plan for long-term fiscal stability of the school district over time. After defining our goals, it is then the process that the school board asks our superintendent, her cabinet, and our principals to utilize their expertise to effectuate them as administrators and educators, which they have been working diligently to do so. Next slide, please. As everyone here knows, this school district would not be here without the incredible support of our partners. These organizations that you see on our slide have been instrumental. They have been vital in donating their time, resources, energy, and intellect in helping us to continue to provide the absolute best programs and opportunities for students and a safe and healthy environment for our students and staff. This, of course, includes the generous donations made by Rotary of $21,000 for our Raptor system that helps with security, and the $42,571 of mini grants for our teachers and staff. We acknowledge that contribution. We would like to say our very, very big thank you and gratitude. We are very aware that it is because of all of you we are able to continue to provide such excellent programs and support for our San Marino students. At this time, I would like to turn it over to our superintendent, Dr. Linda Delatorre, who I can say without a shadow of a doubt, we would not be where we are today without her outstanding efforts and leadership, along with her cabinet, all principals and assistant principals, the exceptional teachers, and classified staff. We owe them a huge debt of gratitude. Thank you. And Dr. Delatorre, thank you so much. And I will let you take over the presentation now. Thank you.
Thank you so much, President Jack. I would also like to take this opportunity to thank Rotary for providing us with this wonderful event in order to present you with information on the state of the district. I would also like to extend an invitation to each of you to attend our district State of the District Address, which will be held in the Huntington Middle School Auditorium on Monday, January 24th from 6 to 8 p.m. This is an opportunity for you to not only hear from our wonderful President Jack and myself, but from each one of our cabinet members and also each one of our principals. They're going to be talking about current and proposed programs that have and will position our school district to be the absolute premier education option for public schools in Los Angeles County and quite possibly the entire state of California. So on the screen before you, you can see that like our school district, our cabinet is small in size, in numbers, but we are mighty in terms of the knowledge, skills, and abilities that we bring to the table to support all of our wonderful students. And I'm proud of the fact that all members of cabinet have received their doctorate in educational leadership, and that all members of our cabinet have a wealth of knowledge, experience, and expertise in public education. As many of you already know, I have 33 years of experience in the San Marino Unified School District. My children attended school here, and I have a love and sense of loyalty to the San Marino Unified School District that has kept me here over the years, even when I've been offered employment elsewhere. I have overseen both the district's human resources and business services departments. I have extensive experience working as a member of the executive team and in leading the district through challenging financial times. Dr. Stephen Choi is an expert and a mentor to others in his field of educational technology. Dr. Stephen Choi has also stepped up to become the district's leading expert on all things related to COVID-19 compliance. I'm amazed at how much he has learned over this period of time and how he's been able to effectively share his knowledge and expertise with our leadership team, our school board, our community, our parents, and our students. He is also an active member of the San Marino City Club, and he's highly respected by all who work for or with him. Dr. Choi has 2 children that are both enrolled in and attend Valentine Elementary School. Their names are Calvin and Catherine, and they are just adorable children. We were fortunate enough to hire Dr. Lena Richter away from Glendale Unified School District, where Richter was well known for having extensive experience in educational services. Her experience as an educator, principal, and district office administrator have prepared her well for her current position. Her background and expertise in the development of curriculum delivery of high quality 21st century instruction, teacher evaluation, special education services, professional development, and educational leadership have all been extremely helpful in overseeing the district's LCAP and in guiding our 4 principals through the process of providing teachers with ongoing professional development and addressing learning regression and variability caused by the pandemic. Additionally, all 3 of us are very well connected with county and state officials and are able to receive expert support on behalf of the district whenever needed. My team practices situational leadership while placing a high value on ethics, morals, and values when it comes to making decisions that are in the absolute best interest of the students that we serve. The past 2 years have tested our resolve. And as our cabinet met in July to come up with a theme for the 2021-22 school year, we kept coming back to the notion that all of our employees were called upon as essential workers to come together to provide support to our students during a very difficult and challenging time. Through discussions related to our exemplary and highly dedicated teachers, administrators, and classified personnel, we came up with the Rise Together theme. Respect, inspire, serve, and evaluate are all words that we strive to live by every day. We hope that it inspires others to do the same. Just a little bit about the financial situation that San Marino Unified School District continues to face. Yesterday, I had the distinct pleasure of attending the governor's budget conference through School Services of California. It was held in Orange County. And we learned there that the California economy continues to do exceedingly well, despite what's going on with the pandemic. We have three big taxes that drive the state revenues in the state of California. And those big three taxes are personal income tax, sales, use, and corporation taxes. Personal income tax actually makes up approximately 2/3 of the state revenues and 70% of the big three revenues. Nearly 50% of all state income comes from the top 1% of earners in California, which makes the personal income tax a volatile revenue source. It's just important to keep that in mind. We do have a lot of people who are exiting the state and going to other states where they are more business friendly. And so we're keeping our eye on that because we think that that may have over the long haul an impact on one of the major sources of revenue for the state of California. One of the things that we talk about when we're talking about budget is the fact that the state of California funds public schools based on what they term the local control funding formula, which you'll hear school personnel refer to as the LCFF. So the local control funding formula is designed to really drive the state's education resources to those districts who have a high concentration of homeless students, foster youth, and those students who in a normal year would qualify for free and reduced lunch. And so there's a supplemental and concentration grant formula that goes to those schools in the area that have a high concentration of those students. San Marino does receive a little bit of supplemental grant monies, but we don't get any of the concentration grant monies because we do, by comparison, have a very low unduplicated count number for our budget. Some people, many superintendents, as a matter of fact, yesterday at this conference that I had occasion to speak with said, you know, Linda, why isn't San Marino a basic aid district? And we get that question quite often because many affluent communities in the state of California are basic aid, and therefore they are funded locally based on their tax revenues, their local tax revenues. In San Marino, we have a lot of homes that are held in trust. So you may have, as an example, a home that could sell in today's market for $12.5 million, but the last time that it was assessed was in 1962, and it's on the books for, you know, $150,000 or $200,000. And so we don't have enough of the homes in San Marino that have turned over during the years to allow us to qualify as a basic aid district. And every 3 or 4 or 5 years, we do a calculation just to see where we're at with that, because we believe that someday we will qualify as a basic aid district, but that day has not yet arrived. And therefore, we can only be funded by state aid, because in doing the math, we do better receiving state aid than we would basic aid. One of the things that has kept us afloat in a climate of declining enrollment, which was something I'm going to talk to you about a little bit later on, is the fact that the state during this pandemic was kind enough to give school districts a waiver for their P2ADA. So the way that school districts are typically funded through the state and through the LCFF is based on their average daily attendance. And so in San Marino, our average daily attendance is typically 97% of the number of students who are enrolled, which is a very high number for ADA. And because we're declining in enrollment, the state said, we're going to hold you harmless
for last year and this year. We're currently in the 21-22 school year, so that you are not penalized for having a sharp decline in your ADA, which many districts are realizing and are faced with, not only because there's an exodus from the state of California, but for a variety of reasons that I'm going to share with you in just a few minutes. So what the state has done in terms of our budget for next year, and I just learned about this yesterday, is they're thinking about a formula wherein they're going to allow us to have a rolling average for the last 3 years on which we would be funded for the 22-23 year. So that allows us to take that rolling average to help offset the funding cliff that we would have experienced if not for this proposal by the governor. And it's not going to completely hold us harmless because we are declining in enrollment like every other school district around. So we will realize a reduction in our revenues for 22-23, but it will not be as detrimental as it would have been if not for him changing the formula that we're going to be funded on. We're very pleased to learn that we're going to get a 5.3% cost of living allowance. So the COLA for next year is going to be 5.3%. That's great. It is not a pass-through. It is not 5.3% on top of the revenues that we have today, because we have to keep in mind that through inflation affects employers. And one of our big costs is the employer contribution for certificated and classified retirement. For CalSTRS and CalPERS, because of how the plans have performed at the state level over the past several years, the employer cost has gone up exponentially. And so we're looking at these costs going up to about 25% for CalPERS by the year 25-26. And for CalSTRS, it's going to be right around 19%. So the employer has to come up with, if you, let's just use round numbers. If you have a $100,000 employee through CalPERS, you have to come up with another $20,000 as the employer contribution for their retirement. All of these employees, by the way, are contributing themselves to their own retirement because there are some public agencies that pick up the entire cost. We do not do that in public education. We've never done that in public education. We share the cost. Nonetheless, it's important to note this because this is going to eat into the 5.3% COLA. There is no provision in the governor's budget proposal for education to offset these costs as there has been previously. So we're not going to realize any relief on that front. We have understood that there's going to be more one-time money coming from the governor's budget. Governor Brown previously was very, very pro-education, was very in favor of local education agencies making decisions at their local level. So Governor Brown wanted to give us the money and let us decide how we were going to spend it. Governor Newsom is a little bit different in that he's kind of going back to the old categorical funds way of providing school districts with supplemental one-time monies. And so what that means is that there's a lot of plans that the district will have to write in order to be accountable for the one-time monies that we receive. And there's lots of strings attached in terms of accountability. And that takes a lot of personnel time to be able to manage, which we will do. And it's, anything that is positive, that increases our revenues, we are absolutely in favor of. So you heard that we got a lot of one-time money related to COVID-19. And we did, every district did. And so those monies, most of them were restricted to be used and designated to be used for certain things related to COVID-19. one of which is learning loss mitigation. And so the monies that we received for learning loss mitigation, those monies had to be targeted toward after school programs for students. At Huntington Middle School, we have a homework club where teachers provide direct instruction and support to students on their homework, and those teachers get paid for providing that service to students, and that money is coming out of the learning loss mitigation funds. We also had ESSER monies that we received, and those monies could be used for upgrading our technology infrastructure and upgrading our HVAC systems. And so we have been successful in going out to bid for our HVAC systems. We're going to upgrade them at both Huntington Middle School and Valentine Elementary School. Those are the two schools in our district that have the most need for HVAC upgrade and repair. And so we're hoping that we will have other sources of revenue going forward to address the HVAC needs at the other two schools. And then Dr. Choi has purchased a lot of switches and all of the supplies that we need to upgrade our technology infrastructure as well, using those one-time monies, which were very helpful for that purpose. In addition, we have the Barth Athletics Complex, which is a wonderful facility that can house very large events. In the past, we did not have a gym that was sufficient to be able to host tournaments and games with outside school districts coming to San Marino. And so we're very grateful for the generous donations that we received to build the Barth Athletics Complex. We were able to take out a loan through a certificate of participation. It's called a COP for short. So we have a principal amount of approximately $6 million. And the plan was to pass a bond, pay that off, and move forward. We were not successful in passing Measure S, as you will recall. And so every year, the district will need to come up with, going forward, the COP payment. We make one payment a year, and it's anywhere from $450,000 to $500,000 a year. And so we have to put that in our budget. And the board has committed enough in reserve to make that payment over the upcoming 3 years. So we are, again, we're going to be talking about whether or not it makes sense to go out for bond, or if we try to take some of the one-time monies that we have in reserve and try to pay that principal down. That the term of the COP goes through 2042. And so if we continue to finance that principal, the district will have paid over $11 million by the time we're done. So we are looking for ways that we can address that, but for the next 3 out years, we're good, and that's good news. I'm going to move on now to enrollment. As we were discussing, San Marino is in good company in terms of declining enrollment in the state of California. Almost every district, with the exception of a few, is experiencing fewer numbers of students. This is exacerbated by the pandemic. Lots of parents are pulling their kids out of school and looking for alternative ways of educating them. In San Marino, you can see that we've had a trend of declining enrollment going back to even before 17-18. But I wanted to give you, the last 5 years as a source of comparison. So we have continued to decline. Our district functions best when we have 3,200 students. We're primarily declining at the secondary, that is the middle and high schools. And so we are looking at creative programs and ways that we can stabilize, if not increase, our enrollment going forward. And there are some challenges to that. The first is babies aren't being born. We have the lowest birth rate since the Great Depression in the state of California. That's one big issue that we have absolutely no control over. Also, the exodus from California, families, businesses are moving to Texas, they're moving to Idaho, Tennessee, Arizona, and other states that they believe either have lower taxes, maybe align with their political ideology. and or are more business friendly type states. Oh, Nevada is one also that people are going to. And so we see those districts numbers going up while California's numbers are going down. So we're looking at working with the Board of Education to come up with some creative solutions. Another challenge in San Marino is that we only have single family homes. We don't have apartments, condos, townhomes, and we really don't have a lot of available space for new construction, where some cities are still building, South Pasadena, La Cañada, they have other types of more affordable housing for families to live in. We also have approximately, and the city manager probably has a better sense of the number than I do. I want to say it's around 9% of the homes in San Marino that are sitting empty because, and I could be overstating that number, so Marcella can correct me if I'm wrong, but these are typically, I believe, homes that were investments. They're not leasing these homes, they're not renting these homes. So they're just sitting there vacant, where they could be inventory for new families to move into the community. And so that's another issue that I think contributes to declining enrollment in the city of San Marino. And why does declining enrollment affect us? It affects how we're funded. It affects our ability to sustain a comprehensive high school master schedule. And it's critical to the district's survival going forward. Health and safety. I think our school district has done an amazing job, and I want to go back to something that President Jack said at the beginning of this presentation, and that is that we owe a debt of gratitude to C. Joseph Chang. Through his leadership and his connections, we really have been able to get our teachers vaccinated as soon as we possibly could. He was able to set that up through his connections at USC Keck. Additionally, he and Dr. Choi were able to organize not only vaccination clinics for our students, but testing. And so we have Omni Labs that will conduct PCR and rapid antigen tests for our students. We had the ability to provide surveillance testing to all of those who wanted to sign up for that, and they were tested once a week. I think that our school district has a higher than average vaccination rate amongst both its employees and its students, which is a great thing because it positions us to be better protected against the virus. And I also felt it was really important to make sure that everyone knows that there are two options available through the state to educate students in this school year. The first is in-person instruction, and the second is independent study. So we have a lot of parents, not just in San Marino, but in the state of California saying, why can't we just go back during the surge to virtual instruction or distance learning? It worked, we were able to manage through the initial pandemic using distance learning. And why is that not an option? And I can tell you that I believe through information that I have received from people high up in the CDE that the reason is that the state knows through research that the best option to educate kids is in person and on campus. There's no substitute for that. Many students need that connection with other students for their own development. They need the connection to the school to receive services and supports that they would not otherwise receive at home. And so we know also that schools are the safest place our kids can be during this pandemic because of all the health and safety protocols that we have implemented and are following. And so I just wanted to make sure everybody was aware of that it is beyond our control in San Marino. We can't just decide to flip a switch and go back to virtual education. It's just not an option. Also, there's a lot of, people asking the question, why can't you just close the schools until you get through the surge? And the response to that is there's only one option available to us to close schools right now, and that would be a severe staffing shortage. And we have had neighboring school districts that have had to close, not their entire district, but a school site or two, because they had so many kiddos testing positive that they just didn't have the staff to be able to do the contact tracing and the notification to parents and all of those things that schools are now required to do. So I'm very proud to say that Dr. Choi had the foresight to propose that we hire COVID support staff at each of the schools to be able to manage this with some of the one-time monies that I was sharing with you we received earlier. The one-time monies have helped us be able to provide that support to our students and parents so we don't need to close. And we have been able to manage this quite well considering. So again, thank you to C. Joseph Chang and to Dr. Choi and our board for helping us with the vaccination clinics. And we just had a booster clinic here last Friday, which was very helpful as well. I talked about Omni Labs. Their test results for the PCR tests have been delayed due to the overwhelming demand. So now we're not getting test results back for 4 or 5 days, which is not very helpful, obviously, in identifying active cases. Although the rapid antigen tests that we have received from the state have been very helpful in detecting positive cases within the period of time that they are in fact positive. So if you test with a PCR test and you get that back positive, you could theoretically test positive through PCR for 90 days after you have the virus when you're no longer contagious. But the rapid antigen test will identify whether or not you're still actively carrying that virus and can transmit it. And so now we're asking people to take the rapid antigen test 5 days after they have experienced symptoms to determine whether or not they still have the virus. We have provided additional lunch table seating at the schools. As you all know, kids are allowed to take off their masks when they're eating and or drinking. There have been some parents who were a little concerned that we didn't have sufficient lunch seating available at the middle school. And I walked that campus during lunch on Tuesday with our director of M&O and with the school site principal to observe. And we have enough seating to accommodate kids. They're not sitting there for very long. They're out, running around in the fields, and they're playing volleyball and basketball and handball and all those wonderful things during their lunch period. Some of them are sitting in circles studying. But we do have sufficient places for them to sit, but we are not satisfied with that. So we are ordering 8 more tables for the middle school. And we're going to have shade structures. We're also concerned about rainy days and making sure that we have appropriate spaces for our kids to be safe while eating their lunches during rainy days. They're going to be spread out. We have a plan for that. We can open the doors in the cafeteria, have everybody socially distanced, bring in air purifiers. So we have the Barth Athletics Complex, a very large space. We can open all the doors. Have fans and air purifiers brought in. We will also have the shade structure. We can bring tables and chairs into the covered corridors where they would be sheltered from the rain, but still able to eat outside, which is the safest place for them to be. And then the local county public department of health has required that employees wear upgraded masks. So cloth masks are no longer sufficient for public school employees. Now we have to wear KN95s or N95s, which are these sort of industrial looking masks. We can double up and wear a cloth mask over something like this, but we can't just wear cloth masks. Surgical masks are acceptable as well, but there's no substitute for the N95s or the KN95s. I talked with you a little bit about technology earlier, and some of our one-time COVID money has helped us to provide one-to-one student devices. We also provided hotspots for kids that were having connectivity issues during the time that they were at home, learning at home. We have kids that are in independent study right now. And those students do have devices that the district provided in addition to hotspots for their synchronous instruction, which happens with teachers providing that direct connection with them. Infrastructure upgrades, I talked a little bit about that before. We have purchased new switches and we have improved access and connectivity as a result of that. And then cybersecurity, which is a big deal currently for public schools. We have had some smaller issues with cybersecurity, but other districts have literally been held hostage with their data and actually made the decision to pay out in order to save their data. And so we certainly don't want to be in that situation, and we don't want to compromise our employees' private and personal information, nor our students. Teaching and learning. This is the center of our universe here in San Marino. We have been able to provide PBIS training to our staff members, and we're in year 2 of 3 of that. Really, really important. This is a methodology that provides positive interventions as opposed to the more, old school traditional disciplinary interventions. And this is a research-based program that has been highly effective. So we are super excited about universal design for learning. You'll hear us talking about UDL, which is the acronym for that. And we are providing UDL training to all of our teachers district-wide. And we're in the first of 2 years of that training. iReady assessments, we talked a little bit about learning regression and variability. And Dr. Lena Richter, in her capacity as our Executive Director of Ed Services, created a committee that evaluated instruments that could assess learning loss and provide opportunities for addressing that through individualized and tailored programs for our students to get them caught up to where they need to be. And so that is happening right now at the elementary schools. It's an ongoing effort. And we've already looked at some of the iReady assessments and the data looks really strong. So our kiddos are right where they need to be. And then, of course, we're providing MTSS support or multi-tiered systems of support at the elementary and secondary years. And this is going to be an ongoing effort. And right now, because of where we are with the pandemic, we haven't been able to fully implement this, but this is a wonderful program that we are going to provide professional development on going forward. We also have partnered with PCC to provide dual enrollment at our high school. We have 3 courses, kinesiology, psychology, and sociology. And these 3 courses have been highly successful. This allows our high school students to take these courses and get college credit for it while they're a high school student. And we're going to continue to partner with PCC to provide these opportunities for our students. In addition to looking at an early college academy. And that's something that people will hear more about during our State of the District address. In terms of our CTE programs, CTE stands for Career Technical Education. We have media arts, animation, filmmaking, graphic design, journalism, business management, and financial literacy. We plan to look at a medical arts program, a law academy program, and other programs that we believe our community would be very interested in supporting going forward. So there's lots of excitement around the possibilities for educational opportunities in the future. And we're working very closely with Dr. Richter and all 4 principals to come up with those programs. Also wanted to mention that we are investigating the possibility of having dual immersion at the elementary school in the language of Spanish. We know that one of our educational partners, the Chinese Club and Chinese School, have provided Chinese instruction to students on Saturdays. And if we provided dual immersion at the elementary, we are positioned to have kids graduating San Marino schools who are trilingual. And I think that gives us an advantage. Here's a video, just a brief video that shows you some of the artwork that was done in our summer school program that I thought you would enjoy seeing.
Here is the 6th and 7th graders artwork from summer school. Also got some pictures going. So cute. I know. Doing an awesome job.
So we have some serious artists among us at the elementary and middle schools. I'm also gonna, sorry.
The 6th and 7th graders.
Here's some pictures of us going out and doing classroom observations and visits at the elementary schools. We just had such a great time. This was before the surge, mind you, when it was safer to go into these environments. We're trying not to do that right now. And you can see Dr. Richter sitting on the rug there with those 2 students. And we were observing some of the activities that they were doing in physical education at Carver outdoors. We are a top performing and award-winning school district. And we have just a great reputation for being the best of the best. And we're so proud of that. As you know, we were able to have our middle school apply for and receive the National Blue Ribbon Award. This past year, they were the only middle school in California to receive the award, and one of 15 in the nation. So we're very, very proud of Huntington Middle School and their being able to receive the National Blue Ribbon. In addition to that, you know, every school in San Marino has been a distinguished school. Niche just reported that San Marino Unified School District is the second top performing school district, second best school district in Los Angeles County. And they have their own metrics that they use to rank schools. So we're pretty proud of that. And then we have been featured in the US World and News Report as being one of the best high schools in the nation. And then, of course, for our visual and performing arts programs, we have been the recipient of the Golden Bell Award, which is a very prestigious award and very, very hard to get. So we're very, very proud of that. And I wanted to close with this, and President Jack may have some final thoughts, but I wanted to share with you just a video of a lot of the things that we have done this year with our students, and just how amazing some of our choir kiddos are, and our band kids. And we really are very fortunate in that we have been able to invest in visual and performing arts programs in San Marino, where a lot of districts have been scaling back. And our parents value that, our students value that, our educators value that. And I know it's important to the board.
Publish return to all of the activities you missed out on due to the pandemic.
Okay, so with that, we will entertain any questions that you all might have for us. And then if President Jack would like to make some final remarks, I would invite her to do that as well.
Do we have any questions for our speakers, Dr. De La Torre or President Jack?
This is Dennis. I don't have a question, but I just want to compliment Nam and Linda on that presentation. I just thought it was fabulous, inclusive, and positive. So really good job to both of you.
Absolutely. Yes. Thank you very much. It was great.
Thank you, Mr. Neer.
And maybe what we could is stop sharing so we can see each other.
Okay,
That will make it
sure.
easier. Here we go. All right. Yeah, I must thank you very much. You guys must have a multimedia award because that was a really nice presentation. Very informative. Thank you. So maybe I have a question. I don't have kids in school, but I'm interested in the way that the school is still open and kids are still going to school. Do you expect this to be improving by allowing to have a more formal, practical in-person meetings, be closer to each other in school when the current wave of Omicron is easing up?
I think, Linda, if you could address that, that would be wonderful.
Absolutely. We're told by Dr. Barbara Ferrer and Dr. Gilchek of the Los Angeles County Department of Public Health that this surge is going to decrease in terms of the numbers of positive tests that we're receiving over the next couple of weeks. And so we're hoping that things will begin to get better. That is what's predicted. In South Africa, they were about a month ahead of us in terms of dealing with this surge, and their numbers went down as fast as they went up. And so we are hoping that that trend will continue here for us. And as things get better, it will be easier for us to have more in-person meetings. It'll be easier for us to try and get back to normal, absent any new variant that comes our way. I'm also told by some health experts that, this is kind of the new norm in a way, and that there will be things that we're just going to have to manage and deal with. But I'm in those meetings with the county health department officials every week. I was in one this morning with Dr. Barbara Ferrer and Dr. Gilchek, and things are getting better. The numbers are going down. So we're very optimistic.
That would be good news indeed. Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome.
Do we have any other questions? If not, we'll pass it back to you, JP, for close out the meeting and thank our guests today. Thank you so much for that wonderful presentation. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks to you, Rob and JP and Gilda for coordinating it and getting back to us on the link and so forth. Thank you so much for your help.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Nam. Thank you, Linda. All right, we'll stay in touch. Now, I would like to basically say a word about the next Rotary meetings. We are going to do next week, we're going to be together again on Zoom. We're going to have a craft talk given by Jean Orlowski. Thank you, Jean, for doing that for us. So that's a program for next week. We are going probably to continue to work on Zoom at the beginning of February. February 3rd will still be on Zoom. Then beyond that, we'll see. Depending on the situation, maybe we can consider coming back together. Stay put for the news. We'll see how we can organize that. But right now, it's pretty much Zoom again for the next 2 weeks. Having said that, I want to thank you, everyone. Thank you, our guests and our wonderful speakers of today. The January 20th, 2022 meeting of the Rotary Club of San Marino is now adjourned. Thank you and goodbye. Those of you
Bye.
who would like to attend the board meeting, we are going to start at 1:30 on the same link. So please stay on if you want to attend. Thank you. Bye now.
Bye-bye.